All right, so today we're going deep on Like Nastya.
Like Nastya.
Yeah, you know, like one of the biggest YouTube empires out there. I mean, huge. She's got over 124 million subscribers. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But how did she get there?
Right.
Like, how did this little girl from Russia become such a global phenomenon?
It's crazy.
That's what we're going to try to figure out today. So we've got like a bunch of articles and interviews, even some data on her channel's growth.
Interesting.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah. You know, what I find interesting is that her story goes beyond just the typical kid influencer thing.
Okay.
There's like something more.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
So before we get into like the whole YouTube strategy, let's rewind a bit.
Okay.
Who is Nastya and how did this all begin?
Well, Nastya's real name is Anastasia Radzinskaya.
Okay.
And her story actually starts with a pretty challenging situation.
Okay.
She was diagnosed with cerebral palsy as a toddler, and doctors were initially worried that she might not be able to speak.
I mean, that really puts things in a whole different perspective.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
So how does she go from that to, I mean, she obviously speaks
Oh, yeah.
in the videos and everything.
So what happened was her parents started filming her
Okay.
as a way to like document her development
Okay.
and, you know, share updates with family and friends. It was a way to kind of celebrate her progress
Yeah.
and connect with loved ones during a difficult time.
So it wasn't initially about like building a YouTube empire or anything.
Not at all.
It was much more personal.
Very much so.
Okay.
But the videos caught on.
Wow.
People were drawn to Nastya's like infectious smile and her determination
Yeah.
and the genuine joy that she radiated even amidst the challenges she was facing.
Yeah. I can see how that would resonate with people. It's like
Yeah.
a story of resilience and hope. But how did they go from those like personal videos to a global audience of millions?
Well, that's a huge leap, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's actually fascinating how they approached that growth.
Okay.
They realized pretty early on that content in English had a much wider reach.
Right.
So they started creating bilingual videos
Oh, okay.
featuring Nastya speaking both Russian and English.
That's smart. They essentially doubled their potential audience
Right off the bat.
from the start.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just about language, right?
No, it was more than that.
Like, how else did they broaden their reach?
Well, they were also very clever about tapping into universal themes and activities that kids everywhere could relate to.
Yeah.
So like playing with toys, going to the park, family outings, you know. These are all things that transcend cultural boundaries.
So it was about hitting on those core childhood moments
Absolutely.
that everyone can connect with.
Yeah, regardless of where they are
Yeah.
in the world.
Okay, so did they adjust the content itself
That's a good question.
for different cultures?
Well, there is some evidence they did that.
Okay.
Although the sources are kind of limited on this. But for example, one article mentioned that they collaborated with local creators in various countries
Interesting.
to incorporate elements of those cultures into some of their videos.
Okay.
So it wasn't just translating the same script.
Yeah.
It was more about adding those local touches.
So they were really thinking about making the content relevant
Very much so.
and familiar to different audiences?
Yes, exactly.
So that's a really,
It was subtle,
yeah,
but effective.
that's a really smart strategy.
Yeah.
So they were almost building like a global community
that.
around Nastya, using the channel as like a platform
Yeah.
for connection and
Wow.
cultural exchange.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
So it's clearly resonating with audiences.
Oh, for sure.
But let's not forget like the foundation of it all.
Right.
The content itself, like what are these videos actually like?
That's the important part.
What's the secret sauce
Yeah.
that's keeping 124 million people coming back for more?
Well, the videos, they're brightly colored, fast-paced,
Okay.
full of energy.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything you'd expect from a channel aimed at young kids.
Right.
But there's also this like distinct focus on play-based learning.
Oh, interesting.
So you see Nastya trying new foods, visiting museums,
Oh.
learning about animals.
Sure.
It's all presented as, you know, fun and exciting.
So it's educational, but not in like a
Right.
preachy classroom kind of way?
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's more about making learning feel like an adventure.
Okay, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
And that's where the, like Nastya comes in.
I see what you did there.
You know?
Yeah.
She's constantly asking viewers if they like what they're seeing, so she's encouraging interaction.
Absolutely.
Making them feel like they're part of it.
It's a very clever technique.
It's really leveraging that whole YouTube engagement.
Yeah, the engagement aspect.
Yeah, it's not just passive viewing.
Nope.
It's about building that connection
Exactly.
with the audience.
Yeah, and they're masters at using those tools to build a loyal fan base.
Okay, so before we unpack why this is all working so well,
Right.
let's actually take a look at a few
Yeah.
key videos
I got some lined up.
that highlight these different elements.
Yeah, some specific examples.
Okay, awesome.
I've got them pulled up right here.
Perfect.
No,
Let's do it. I'm excited to see these.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got one queued up here that kind of perfectly demonstrates what we were just talking about.
Okay.
It's called Nastya Learns Colors with Giant Surprise Eggs.
Okay, that sounds pretty on brand
Yeah.
for a kid's channel.
Yeah, very much so.
What's interesting about this one?
Well, like on the surface, it's a classic,
yeah.
toy unboxing video,
Yeah.
which you see a lot of on YouTube.
Yeah.
But they've kind of added this educational layer by incorporating color recognition.
Oh.
So Nastya opens these giant surprise eggs, and each one contains toys of a specific color.
So they're sneaking in some learning.
Exactly.
While keeping it super entertaining.
Yeah, it's a clever trick.
Yeah.
And you'll notice how Nastya interacts directly with the viewers,
Okay.
like asking them to guess what's inside each egg
Oh, okay.
and repeat the colors with her.
That's smart.
Yeah.
So it's like the kids watching or
Right.
playing along with her.
Yeah, it's all about that engagement.
Okay.
Now here's another one.
Okay.
This one showcases their global approach.
Okay.
It's called Nastya Travels to Japan and Tries Traditional Food.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a good one.
How do they incorporate the, different cultures into the content?
Well, in this one, Nastya and her family visit different landmarks in Japan.
Okay.
And they try local delicacies like sushi and mochi.
Sure.
But it's not just about the food. They also participate in cultural activities
Like what?
like trying on kimonos
Okay.
and learning a few basic Japanese phrases.
So it's like a little mini travelogue for kids,
That's a good way to put it.
exposing them to new experiences.
Exactly.
Broadening their horizon.
Yeah, and it's done in a way that's both informative and entertaining.
Yeah.
They really strike that perfect balance.
Okay, you mentioned earlier that they sometimes collaborate
Right.
with like local creators.
Oh, yeah.
Do we see any evidence of that in this particular video?
Well, it's subtle,
Okay.
but there are a few moments where Nastya interacts with Japanese children,
Oh, he did.
playing games, learning about their culture firsthand.
Okay.
Now, it's not explicitly stated,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't be surprising if they worked with local families or influencers to make those connections.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
Adds a layer of like authenticity to
Yeah,
it.
it makes the experience more immersive
Yeah, exactly.
for viewers.
Okay, cool.
Now, one last video I want to show you.
Okay.
This one's a bit different.
Okay.
It's called Nastya Helps Her Dad Clean Up the Park.
Okay, so this one sounds less
Yeah.
about the wow factor
Right.
and more about like
Everyday life.
everyday life.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so interesting.
Okay.
It's a very simple premise.
Mm-hmm.
Nastya and her dad are at the park,
Okay.
and they notice some trash on the ground.
Right.
So they decide to clean it up.
So they're incorporating like
Yeah.
a message
Yeah, like a little lesson.
about environmental responsibility.
Exactly. It's subtle, but powerful.
Okay.
They're showing kids that even small actions can make a difference,
Yeah.
and that it's important to, take care of our planet.
To take care of our planet.
And again, they do it in a way that's,
Fun and engaging.
fun and engaging. Yeah.
Yeah.
With catchy music and playful interactions.
It's amazing how they weave those positive messages into seemingly ordinary activities.
It's really well done.
Yeah.
It's not preachy. It's not forced.
Right.
It just feels organic to their brand.
Okay.
Their whole message of positivity and kindness.
So we've seen some examples of their content now.
Yeah, I think we've got a good sense.
Let's get down to brass tacks.
Okay.
What is it about like Nastya
Right.
that has resonated
Yeah.
with millions of viewers worldwide?
That's the big question, right?
What's the key to their success?
Well, I think it's a combination of factors.
Okay.
First and foremost, there's the relatability factor.
Okay.
Like Nastya comes across as a regular kid.
Right.
Not some polished child star.
Yeah.
She's playful. She's silly. And she genuinely seems to be having fun.
It's that authenticity that shines through. Like,
Yeah.
she's not putting on an act.
Right.
She's just being herself.
And I think that's incredibly appealing to kids and parents alike.
I bet.
You know, in a world of like curated social media feeds and picture perfect influencers,
Yeah.
there's something refreshing
Yeah.
about seeing a child just being a child.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
A reminder that childhood should be about exploration and discovery and pure, unadulterated fun.
Yeah, and let's not forget the power of family.
Oh, right.
Nastya's parents are a constant presence
Yeah.
in the videos, and their interactions feel genuine
Yeah.
and heartwarming.
You can tell they have a close-knit bond, and that resonates with viewers.
It does.
It reinforces those family values that are so important
To so many people.
to so many people. Yeah.
And it adds another layer of trust.
Okay.
You know, parents can feel good about their kids watching Like Nastya
Right.
because they know it's a family-friendly environment.
Okay, so we talked about the bilingual aspect earlier.
Yeah.
How much of a role do you think that played in their global success?
Oh, I think it was a crucial element.
Okay.
You know, by creating content in both Russian and English. They tapped into a much larger audience
From the get
from the outset. Yeah.
It's like they were planting seeds in two different gardens,
Yeah, I like that analogy.
allowing their reach to just grow exponentially.
And as they expanded into other languages,
Right.
that reach just continued to multiply.
Okay, I'm curious about like
Okay.
the YouTube algorithms
Yeah.
and how those come into play.
Yeah, how are they gaming the system?
You know, do we have any insight into how like Nastya leverages those to their advantage?
Well, we don't have access to like their specific strategies.
Sure.
But we can make some educated guesses
Yeah.
based on what we know about how YouTube works.
Right.
First off, their consistency is key.
Okay.
They upload new videos almost daily,
Wow.
which keeps their channel active
right.
and signals to the algorithm that they're producing fresh content.
So it's like they're feeding the YouTube beast,
Okay,
keeping it happy and engaged.
very much so. And they're strategic about their titles and descriptions and tags. You know, using keywords that people are likely to search for.
Right.
This helps their videos get discovered
Yeah.
by a wider audience.
So they're speaking the language of YouTube.
Yeah.
Optimizing their content for maximum visibility.
You got it.
And don't forget, like the power of thumbnails,
Oh, yeah.
like they're bright,
They're eye-catching.
colorful, eye-catching.
Exactly.
They stand out.
Yeah, they need to stand out in a sea of content.
Yeah, it's all about grabbing that attention,
That's right.
making people want to click.
And once they click, they're hooked by the high production quality,
Right.
engaging storylines.
Mhm.
And of course, you know, Nastya's infectious personality.
Okay, so it's this winning combination
It is
that has propelled them to the top.
to the top of the YouTube food chain.
But let's zoom out for a second
Okay.
and consider the bigger picture.
Okay.
What is the success of, like, Nastya? Tell us about the changing landscape
Take a great credit.
of children's entertainment.
Yeah, I think it speaks to the shift from traditional media to online platforms like YouTube.
Okay.
You know, kids today have way more control over what they watch and when they watch it.
Right. It's not about tuning in
Not anymore.
at a specific time
No.
for your favorite show.
Nope.
It's on demand.
It's all on demand,
Access to a world of content.
right at their fingertips.
And channels like Nastya are catering to that demand.
Absolutely. They're creating content that's specifically tailored
Yeah.
to the interests and preferences
Yeah.
of young viewers.
It's like a whole new era
It is.
of entertainment, and like Nastya
At the forefront.
at the forefront of.
It needed the chart.
But with great power comes great responsibility, right? Like,
Yeah.
what are some of the ethical considerations
We didn't talk about that.
that come up when we talk about
Like-
child influencers
Yeah.
and online content creation?
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
And it's a conversation we need to be having. You know, we need to make sure that these young creators
Yeah.
are being treated fairly,
Right.
that their privacy is being protected,
Of course.
and that their well-being
Yeah.
is prioritized above all else.
It's a delicate balance, isn't it?
It is.
Because on the one hand, we've got these incredible opportunities for kids to express themselves creatively,
Yeah.
connect with a global audience.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, we need to be so mindful
Yeah, we do.
of the potential risks then make sure that they're being protected.
It's not just about saying yes or no to kids being online.
Yeah.
It's about having those open and honest discussions about the potential benefits and risks and working together to create a digital environment that is both empowering and safe for young people.
Okay, so it's about fostering their creativity while also safeguarding their well-being.
Finding that sweet spot.
But for now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about some of the broader trends that we're seeing in children's entertainment.
Right.
You know, we've talked a lot about Like Nastya, but they're just one piece
of a much larger puzzle.
Yeah. All right. So, Like Nastya is a big deal in the world of kids' entertainment, but where does this all fit in with everything else that's happening? What other trends are out there?
Well, one trend that's, I mean, just huge is this rise of personalized content.
Personalized content? What do you mean?
So think about it. Like, as adults, we're kind of used to algorithms curating our news feeds, suggesting music, tailoring shopping recommendations, all that stuff. Well, kids are starting to expect that same level of personalization. But in their entertainment.
So it's like having a TV channel that's custom built for each kid based on their interests.
Based on what they like.
Wow.
Some platforms are already experimenting with this. Using AI to analyze what a child watches.
So it knows
It knows how they interact. Even their learning style.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And the goal is to deliver content that's not just entertaining. But also matches their individual needs and preferences.
That's pretty mind-blowing, but I also wonder about some of the downsides to that.
Of course.
What about like the echo chamber effect? If kids are only seeing content, that reinforces what they already like.
That could be a problem.
Does that limit their worldview?
It could. And it's something that, you know, developers are thinking about a lot. The challenge is to find that balance between personalization and exposure to new ideas.
So maybe it's like 80% what they like?
Yeah, like 80% is stuff they already like. But then 20% is
things they've never seen before.
Stuff that's unexpected.
To broaden their horizons a little bit.
Push them a little outside their comfort zone.
Yeah, okay, so it's like this, it's almost like a tightrope walk.
It is a tightrope walk.
What other trends are you seeing?
Another big one is this blurring of lines between education and entertainment.
Oh, interesting.
We're seeing more and more shows and games that are blending learning with play. So basically making education more engaging. And dare I say, fun.
It's like sneaking in the vegetables.
It is. It's the Trojan horse of learning.
The kids are having so much fun, they don't even realize.
Exactly. They're learning.
Yeah, okay.
And this is all being fueled by advances in technology. Especially virtual and augmented reality. Like imagine a kid exploring ancient Rome through a VR headset.
Oh, wow.
Or dissecting a virtual frog without all the mess.
No cleanup.
No cleanup required.
That's amazing.
Pretty cool, right?
So it's like we're moving beyond just passive watching.
Yeah, it's not just sitting on the couch anymore.
And it's becoming this immersive learning experience.
That's where things are headed.
I mean, that's really exciting, but are there any downsides to that?
Well, I think.
You know, are we going to have kids who are so reliant on technology that they forget how to interact in the real world?
That's a concern that comes up a lot. And it's, you know, it's a valid concern. I think it all comes down to balance, right? Technology can be an incredible tool for learning and exploration, but it shouldn't replace real world experiences.
So we still got to encourage kids to go outside.
Absolutely.
To play with other kids.
You got to put down the devices sometimes.
You know, do things that don't involve screens.
Get out there and experience the world.
It's not about rejecting technology. It's about using it.
Using it thoughtfully.
Yeah, thoughtfully.
Integrating it into our lives.
And teaching kids to do the same.
Exactly. And I think, you know, the success of channels like Nastya shows us that it's possible to create content that's both engaging and enriching for young audiences.
So they're setting a good example.
They're setting a high bar for other creators out there.
It's inspiring to see how something that started
as like
a personal family journey has evolved into this global phenomenon.
Yeah, pretty amazing, right?
And is really, I mean, they're shaping the landscape of children's entertainment.
It really highlights the power of creativity.
Yeah.
And the importance of adapting to new technologies and the potential for positive impact.
Yeah.
When those things come together.
Okay, well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
I think so.
From Nastya's backstory to the future of kids' entertainment.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with?
Yeah, as we navigate this, rapidly evolving digital world.
It's moving fast.
It's moving fast. We have to be engaged and informed about the content that our kids are consuming.
Talk to them about it.
Encourage a healthy balance between online and offline activities.
Yeah.
And most importantly, foster their curiosity, their creativity, and their love of learning.
Yeah.
The future of entertainment is in their hands.
That's a great point.
And we have the power to help them shape it responsibly.
Well, thank you so much for joining me.
It's been a pleasure.
On this deep dive into the world of Like Nastya and all the fascinating trends that are shaping the future of kids' entertainment.
It's an exciting time.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
Keep learning and keep diving deep.